I can't find the video. I gotta hit the line, but let me do this again. Forgive me.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Down, man. Let him breathe, at least, man. I've been trying to help out. So he can breathe with his man.
Apparently the cold weather is setting in, and that means more people will be indoors and there is more chance of coronavirus to spread. And in recent days, we now know from the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation at the University of Washington.
More than 30% of Americans have not made their full housing payments for July, including 19% who made no housing payments at all.
Now to the wildfires raging in the West, which have killed at least 33 people, with dozens of others missing and tens of thousands more forced to flee their homes in California, Oregon, and Washington.
Australia is on fire.
The coronavirus has claimed a Ukrainian passenger plane.
Violent clashes between Hindus and Muslims.
The economy is facing its biggest crisis.
A Pakistan International airline.
Worst plague of locusts.
2 weeks after George Floyd was India's disputed border.
Shackles round my neck, around my arms, down to my feet. Can you hear the wailing women facing defeat? So cry, cry, so cry, cry. I can hear the cry from captivity. Shackles round my neck, around my arms, down to my feet. Can you hear the wailing women facing defeat? So cry, cry, so cry, cry. I can see the end in sight. The light at the end of the tunnel is shining bright. He has not forsaken us. Do you see the bow in the sky? He remembers his covenant. He's coming back for his bride. So prepare your heart, let your light shine bright. Don't let your lamp run out at a war. Sow some seed deep down and console. I know sometimes it gets hard. When it's going good, then it falls apart. No matter what, you need to keep the faith. You must endure, you gotta finish the race. I can hear the cries from captivity. Shackles round my neck, around my arms, down to my feet. Can you hear the wailing women facing defeat? So cry, cry, so cry, cry. I can hear the cry from captivity. Shackles round my neck, around my arms, down to my feet. Can you hear the wailing women facing defeat? So cry, cry, so cry, cry. Judgment is here, the world is on fire, fire. Stay out the way, stay out the way. Choose whom you'll serve today. Yahuwah, he's got our enemies confounded and pounded. They fighting one each other. With his blood, Yahushua be your cover. You gotta have a cover. So prepare your heart. Let your light shine bright. No way. Everybody has a purpose. It gets hard. It falls apart. What you need to keep the faith. You mustn't do, you gotta finish the race. I can hear the cries from captivity. Shackles round my neck, around my arms, down to my feet. Can you hear the wailing women facing defeat? So cry, 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 cry. I can hear the cry from captivity. Shackles round my neck, around my arms, down to my feet. Can you hear the wailing women facing defeat? So cry, cry, yeah. Cry, cry. I can hear the cries from captivity. Shackles from my neck, around my arms, down to my feet. Yeah. Can you hear the wailing women facing defeat? Yeah. Don't be ashamed to cry. Cry to Yahweh. I can hear the cries. 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 Yahuwah.
All right, family, let's address that comment right there. They gave Grandmaster Jay 7 years in federal prison for allegedly pointing a gun at an officer. You see what's wrong with that, Brother Stephen? Anybody in the chat see what's wrong with that?
Well, first of all, he didn't even point the gun at him.
I didn't think he did. Because, you know, I was watching.
He didn't point that gun. He didn't point that gun at them people.
Okay. Why ain't these heathens that's in shootouts with police getting years for that then? They point and shoot at the police. How many
why don't heathens on January the 6th that stormed the Capitol? Why they ain't get that kind of time?
I just wanted to see somebody else go see it. I promise that was the first thought to come to my mind. They killed the police officer.
And they had
who's
guns
charged with
in
his
the
murder?
Capitol.
Huh? At the Capitol. Trying to
They had
orchestrate.
guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
They found one car. They found a couple of vehicles where they had stashed all the weapons. They were really planning on having a war.
They had pipe bombs. They found pipe bombs. I ain't heard nobody charged with them bombs. See, if it had been somebody like me and you together, and they found some pipe bombs in the vicinity, oh, they'd find a way to charge all of us with that.
That's what Kanye West was talking about. Kanye said we get pulled over in a car, and they find some drugs. They put the drugs on everybody.
Okay. What wasn't real? You talking about them pipe bombs? Hey, what wasn't real? Cause we like to kick truth over here. What wasn't real? Cause we went over that part. Me and somebody did a video about them killing that cop with that bear spray. He died the next day. Wasn't Officer Sicknick or whatever? The Capitol riot wasn't real. Okay. Well, they say it was real. It was on television. So if you go that far, it's real. The Capitol riot wasn't real. Okay. Okay. Well, they got all them folks. Prove it. Prove it wasn't real. Prove it wasn't real. How you know it wasn't real? If it wasn't, they went through great lengths. Real estate investor. What was that woman's name? Okay, the guy with the bull outfit on. The police officer and the video footage.
Donald Trump. They trying to prosecute him for it.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, well, they said it's real. It's their media. They having a now you making statements but without evidence. You making statements. You got to prove what you're talking about. You got to prove what you're saying. You got to prove it. It's possible now. These heathens are full of trickeration, but prove it. So you mean to tell me Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat, tricked all these Republicans into going into the Capitol for a show? Come on now. Shanae. So you saying Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat, somehow persuaded all these Klan members and these Klan associates to come down to the Capitol and risk going to jail, going to prison? I ain't buying that. Hey, I ain't buying it. Hey, you got to come on harder there. I'm not trying to put you out there, but when you say stuff, even me, if I say something that ain't true, point it out. All right,
Sister Onika said she seen it with her own eyes.
I believe it. They were talking about they was up in there defecating and urinating.
Cause don't Sister Onika live up there? She live down there, though.
She live in California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we'll get into that another time. But no, what still does not solve the argument. These heathens get into shootouts with the police all the time, and they don't get charged with that charge that they charge Jam Master Jay with, whether he be fraud or whatever. You don't never see that. All these heathens getting into scrapes with the police.
I seen a heathen the other day with a gun in the car. The police had 2 guns pulled on him. He had a gun on the seat. They were begging him to not reach for that gun.
Yeah.
The heathen got tired of dealing with him and pulled off. He pulled off.
Did they go get him?
They didn't take him to jail. He pulled off. They didn't shoot him. They didn't tase him. They didn't beat him with a baton. He said, well, I tell y'all what, since y'all violate my constitutional right, how about I just go home? And pulled off.
They probably was. These heathens started to shake down their own now for money. They started to shake down their own. They always get them in the wash. But anyway, okay. All right. Now, I also looked in this Bible about the and Canaan, Exodus. It's in here. So this brother did his research. Let me do this for a minute. Let me see here. Okay, like this, I guess. Y'all check, y'all. This brother did his research. All right, put this over here. Exodus 12:40. This is a follow-up video. It's a follow-up video. Try to cover what I missed. Try to clear up. I noticed some stuff I didn't go over. All right, right here. I compared the plagues in Exodus with the plagues in Revelation. Okay, but nevertheless, let me go to this Genesis. It's Exodus 12:40. Let me show y'all what we're talking about. Did you I went over that video, Brother Stephen. I don't know if you're familiar with it. That they edited the scriptures. You hear me?
Yeah.
Look here. Now the sojourning with the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt for 430 years. Let me show y'all in this Bible. I got it up here. I might as well. I'm glad. See, I like when our brothers, I don't mind spending no money. Our brothers they put their work in. They need to be compensated like we pay everybody else. We pay everybody else for their work. Let me show y'all what the difference is. Hold on, let me see. Let me do it again. I don't know if you all can see that, but it's 12 and 40. No, y'all can't see that. Y'all can't see that. My light ain't good. I ain't turned my light on. But let me show y'all in another Bible. Bear with me. Because they got to know this. Reason why you say, why am I going over this? We wasn't afflicted 400 years in Egypt. We wasn't afflicted. Let me see here. Okay, yeah. Got sidetracked. Hold on. If y'all got anything to the contrary, let's bring it out. We ain't gonna argue about it. We family. Reason why I say that, cause see, it's the verses in Exodus. Well, we gonna be compensated. See, if you ain't looking for compensation, you know, then that limits your faith. Let's see, Exodus 12:40. And I shared that video that where they translated from a newer version. All these new Bibles, they translated from a newer version, and when they did, they excluded this part. Now, when the sojourn of the children of Yasharal, Israel, who dwelt in the land of Egypt, Mizraim, and in the land of Canaan, and their fathers were 430 years. They left this out. And remember, we was in the wilderness for 40 years before we went to Canaan, right? Yeah, that's the Sefer Bible. So what I'm saying is the math is off. They done edited the Bible. There shouldn't be nothing new. Now, this is why I'm addressing this. Okay? I know it's a 14-second clip.
A white man. And the
See,
Lord
this brother don't believe we supposed to get no reparations. And somebody owe you, you ain't begging. If I owe you, Brother Stephen, and you ask me for your money that I owe you, is you begging? I don't know if you're still there. But anyway.
A white man. And the Lord is coming to save us, not if we beg for reparations. Because the word reparation means to repair. Right? Now, if you're repairing the people, the so-called white man's money can't repair people. Right? You a white man. And the Lord is...
That ain't what the issue is. I'm going to get into these scripts. Let me get on into it. All right, Exodus, let me see here. 3:22. Let me start. I know this is talking to Moses right here. All right, just bear with me for a minute. All right, y'all give me a minute. Exodus 3:22. All right, now this is what the Most High was telling Moses. Now look, notice he said, stretch out my hand. I will stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders. which I would do in the midst thereof. After that, he will let you go. Verse 21. And I will give his people, and I will give this people, he talking about us, favor in the sight of the Egyptian. When he get through whooping their tail, see, they're going to be glad to compensate. And it shall come to pass that when ye go, ye shall not go empty. So, all right, let me read 22. But every woman shall borrow of her neighbor and of her that sojourneth in her house jewels of silver, jewels of gold and raiment, and ye shall put them upon your sons and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Egyptians. So the Most High didn't want our people leaving out of bondage when they were robbed and pillaged of their financial work and earnings empty-handed. So he told the people to go ask for some things. Jewels of gold and clothing, silver. That's reparations. That's payment. So, and y'all think, and y'all really think, I'm gonna prove it in the word. After going through over 400 years of pure hell, that the Most High gonna let them slide. Let me go to this other verse. All right, now Exodus 12:36. I need to go to that verse with Abraham. Hold on, Exodus 12:36. Let me see what this is. I might be done got out of order. Exodus 12:36. Yeah, that is the fulfillment of the prophecy. Okay. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such thing as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. All right. Now let me get into this. Now, Abraham, Genesis. I know I got it wrote down somewhere. I started on it yesterday. Let me just Google it. Genesis 15:13. Let me go to the chapter. All right. And he took unto him all these and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another. But the birds divided he not. He's doing an offering, a sacrifice. And when the fowls came down upon the carcass, he was doing a sacrifice. Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Serve, slavery, affliction right now. A combination of 400 years. This didn't happen in the first Exodus, y'all. Let me show this video again. Yeah, let me show this video again. Let me put it in two references. Put it in two places. All right, let me put it in here. Go right here. Feel free to chime in. What's up, Mike?
Shalom, Hebrew. Shalom.
All right.
Can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah. This is the people mindset, as into expect compensation. That's what this is about. Expect compensation. How are we gonna go into the new millennium? Even at the least, with 1,000 years of peace, them heathen ain't gonna have no possession of their wealth. Think about it. The 1,000 years of peace, they ain't gonna have access to their wealth. So who gonna have it? Did you see what I'm saying? Maybe not. Let me go. If it's something you don't understand or something you disagree with, feel free. Because we kick truth over here. Feel free. All right, now look. And y'all said to Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Serve and afflict. 400 years straight. Okay? All right. Here we go.
Hebrew, you supposed to be sharing your screen.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I wonder what are you doing?
I wonder why you were quiet. And I'm like, okay. Let me see here. I hear my wife up there laughing. Let me go back a little bit. Let me see here. Here you go. Oh yeah, I got you, Mr. Pirate Brain. I got you. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. That way, when I switch up, you get a notification. And shalom to everybody in the chat. All right, here comes the sound.
How long were the Israelites in Egypt? In Exodus 12:40, it says, "Now the length of time the Israelite people lived in Egypt was 430 years. And so because of this, movies like the Ten Commandments will say things like this.
That's a hard dance you do, old man. We've been dancing it for 400 years.
400 years we have waited.
400 years in bondage. And today he won't move.
After 400 years of slavery.
And experts on the topic will say things like this.
The Israelites were there 430 years. We have the record in the Bible that tells about the Israelites going into Egypt and living.
Now look, see, this is what we got right here. We got so-called Bible research, and he's an archaeologist. So he digs around for information, but now he's stupid. Think about it. The Most High, we got to expect great substance. We got to expect it for our children, even if we die. We got to teach them that we gonna have ours. They ain't getting away with that pie in the sky stuff. They ain't getting away with it, family. This man know.
There for 430 years.
But if you do the math, you'll find that this is not mathematically possible. You see, Moses was 80 years old when they left Egypt. His father Amram lived to 137. His father Kohath lived to 133. And Kohath was one of the 66 persons who went with Jacob down into Egypt. Now let's just stretch this out as much as we possibly can. Let's assume that Kohath was a newborn baby when he arrived in Egypt. Let's assume that Amram was born the year that his father died, and let's assume that Moses was born the year that his father died. So take 133 plus 137 plus 80, and that equals 350, which means that the amount of time the Israelites were in Egypt could have been no longer than 350 years maximum. Now, more than likely, Kohath was probably not a newborn baby when he arrived in Egypt. More than likely, Moses was not born the year that his father died, and more than likely, Amram was not born the year that his father died, which means that the amount of time the Israelites were in Egypt would have been significantly less than 350 years. So why does Exodus 12:40 say the Israelites were in Egypt for 430 years when this is not mathematically possible? The key is found in one of Paul's letters. In Galatians 3:16 and 17, Paul says, "Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. And this I say, that the law, which was 430 years later, cannot annul the covenant that was confirmed before by God in Christ."
You see that precept, Mikael?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See. All right.
Yeah, I see it too.
Paul is saying.
Yeah, look, Abraham received a promise. They going, look, see this right here. They wasn't in Egypt when Abraham received the promise. And we was in the wilderness 40 years. So you can get rid of that 30. See, we eating that up on both ends. See, the most I see burning the candle right now. See, but go ahead.
From the time that Abraham received the promise to the time that Moses received the law, there was 430 years. Well, Abraham received the promise when he entered Canaan when he was 75 years old. Then 25 years later, when Abraham was 100 years old, that's when Isaac was born. Then 60 years later, when Isaac was 60 years old, that's when Jacob was born. Then 130 years later, when Jacob was 130 years old, that's when all of Israel arrived in Egypt. So take 25 plus 60 plus 130, and that equals 215, which means that there was 215 years from the time that Abraham entered Canaan to the time that all of Israel arrived in Egypt. Now, Moses received the law the same time that they left Egypt, because remember, the Israelites were living in Goshen, and then Moses led them out of Goshen, brought them through the wilderness, and brought them to the sea. And then God split the waters of the sea in half and brought them into Midian, which is in Arabia, then brought them to Mount Sinai, which is where Moses received the law. And so Moses received the law the same time they left Egypt. So Paul is saying that there was 430 years from this point to this point, and according to the Old Testament, there's 215 years from this point to this point. So take 430 years and then subtract 215 years, and that equals 215, which means that the amount of time that the Israelites were in Egypt was 215 years. 215 in Egypt, 215 in Canaan.
Okay, so they wasn't in bondage and afflicted 400 years. See, you say, why is that important? Because when you get to Abraham in that verse I just read, let me share my screen. When you get to Genesis 15:13, and he said, the Most High said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land. They knew what Egypt was. I'm just saying, that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Now, if they was only in Egypt 215 years, then that prophecy have not been fulfilled yet. So how I know it hadn't been fulfilled yet? Let me read verse 14. And also that nation whom they shall serve, I will judge. And afterward shall they come out with great substance. After 400 years, after 400 years, start looking for the payday. They ain't giving us nothing. They owe us. You don't give people when you owe them. See, they got that slave mind. That got to go. That got to go. That got to go. See, if you don't think like this, you're not going to look to receive it. How can you receive something if you're not looking for it? You look for a check in the mail. If you don't know it's there, you ain't gonna look for it, right?
Now that is mathematically possible, because 215 is significantly less than 350. And that's exactly what the Greek Septuagint says in Exodus 12:40. It says, and the sojourning of the children of Israel while they sojourn in the land of Egypt.
For those of you who don't know, this is an older copy of the scripts than what they translated the modern Bibles from. Okay, those you don't know.
In the land of Canaan was 430 years. The Samaritan Pentateuch says the same thing. It says, now the sojourning of the children of Israel and of their fathers, which they had dwelt in the land of Canaan and in Egypt, was 430 years. Flavius Josephus says they left Egypt 430 years after our forefather Abraham came into Canaan, but 215 years only after Jacob removed into Egypt. Flavius Josephus is saying the exact same thing. He's saying they left Egypt for.
Let me show y'all. This is the historical reference right here. Y'all can look this up. I got this on an audio book. I hadn't paid attention to it, but I'm gonna pay attention to it and listen for it. All right. Antiquities of the Jews. This is a book. He's a historian. He was there when the Romans took the kingdom right after Mashiach died. He was there. He was like a tactician. He was military minded, but he was not white.
After Jacob removed into Egypt. Flavius Josephus is saying the exact same thing. He's saying they left Egypt 430 years since our forefather Abraham came into Canaan, but 215 years only since Jacob removed into Egypt. Flavius Josephus is saying the exact same thing. So why do modern translations say that the Israelites were in Egypt for 430 years when this is not mathematically possible? The reason why is because modern translations like the New King James, the NIV, the NASB, these are all translated from the Hebrew Masoretic text. But the Hebrew Masoretic text is not the original Hebrew text. The copy of the Masoretic text that most modern translations are translated from is called the Leningrad Codex, which was copied in the 11th century AD. But the Greek Septuagint was translated more than 1,000 years before that in 250 BC, which means that the Greek Septuagint would not have been translated from the Hebrew Masoretic, but rather it would have been translated from a much older copy of the Hebrew that's no longer around today. The Samaritan Pentateuch also predates the Masoretic text and would also have been translated from a much older copy of the Hebrew. Flavius Josephus was a 1st century Jewish historian. He lived long before the Masoretic text was copied. And Josephus had access to ancient Hebrew texts that have since been lost or destroyed. Paul the Apostle lived long before the Masoretic text was copied, and Paul knew Hebrew. In Acts 26, when Paul talks about his encounter with Jesus on the road to Damascus, he says that Jesus spoke to him in the Hebrew language, and Paul understood him. Paul knew Hebrew, and so Paul would also have studied from a much older copy of the Hebrew. And what Paul says in Galatians 3:16 and 17 is consistent with the Greek Septuagint, the Samaritan Pentateuch, and the writings of Flavius Josephus. Now, the Bible says, by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established. Well, we've got more than 2 or 3 witnesses here. We've got 4 witnesses, all bearing witness that the original Hebrew text said that the Israelites will be in Egypt and Canaan for 430 years. But more than 1,000 years later, when the Hebrew Masoretic text was copied, the phrase "and Canaan" was dropped out of the text. And all of our Bibles are translated from this corrupted copy of the Hebrew. The New King James, the Old King James, the NIV, the NASB, the ESV. If you go to BibleGateway.com, you'll find there's 50 English translations of the Bible on this website. And every single one of them say that the Israelites were in Egypt for 430 years, which is incorrect and mathematically impossible. Every single one of these translations are inconsistent with the original Hebrew because they're all translated from the Hebrew Masoretic. And according to these 4 witnesses, the Masoretic text copied it incorrectly. As a matter of fact, these ages of Moses and his father and grandfather are recorded in the Masoretic text, and yet they only add up to 350 years maximum. So in that sense, there's even a 5th witness. The Masoretic bears witness against itself. And so the amount of time the Israelites were in Egypt was only 215 years. But the years of slavery was even less than that, because the Israelites did not become slaves until after Joseph and all that generation died, and then a new king arose who did not know Joseph. Well, Joseph was 30 years old when he entered Pharaoh's service. And shortly after, there were 7 years of abundance and then 7 years of famine. So it would appear that after the 7 years of abundance, Joseph would have been 37 years old. Then 2 years into the famine, when he was 39, that's when all of Israel arrived in Egypt. So based on the information given, it appears as if Joseph was 39 years old at the beginning of that 215 years. Then Joseph died at 110. So take 110 and subtract 39, and that equals 71, which means that for 71 years, the Israelites were in Egypt under Joseph's rule, and they were not slaves during those 71 years. So take the 215 years that the Israelites were in Egypt, subtract the 71 years that Joseph was in power, and that equals 144, which means that the Israelites were not slaves for any longer than 144 years maximum. Now, Moses was 80 years old when they left Egypt, and they were already in slavery when Moses was born, which means that they could not have been slaves for any less than 80 years minimum. So take the 215 years that the Israelites were in Egypt, subtract the 71 years that Joseph was in power, subtract the 80 years of Moses' life, and that equals 64, which means that there were 64 years in between Joseph's death and Moses' birth. The Israelites became slaves sometime after Joseph died and sometime before Moses was born, sometime within that 64-year time period. Now,
I hope this makes sense. Because the more I watch it, I'm understanding it. But yeah.
Let's just assume that the Israelites became slaves at exactly the midpoint in between Joseph's death and Moses' birth. That would be 32 years after Joseph died and 32 years before Moses was born. If this is the case, then that would mean that the Israelites were slaves for 112 years. And so the amount of time the Israelites were in slavery was probably about 112 years or so. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but definitely no more than a maximum of 144 and definitely no less than 80 years minimum. Whatever the case, the Israelites were definitely not slaves for nearly as long as the movies make it sound when they say
400 years in bondage, and today he won't move.
The Israelites were not slaves for 400 years. They were only slaves for about 112 years or so, plus or minus 32 years. You see, when you take the prophecy in Genesis and you match that up with the timeline in Exodus, then you're able to understand how these puzzle pieces fit together. But the main thing that causes people to misinterpret this prophecy in Genesis is the Hebrew Masoretic text has dropped the phrase "and Canaan" out of the text. This is the main thing that caused...
And Mike, how much you know about that Masoretic text? I'm not speaking down on how much you know about it. That's these same people. That's these same people. These are Edomites. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a year since I looked at it. They've come up with that, trying to hide the word from the people.
Causes people to believe that the Israelites were in Egypt for 430 years. But the truth is, they were in Egypt for only half that time, for 215 years. According to the documentary Patterns of Evidence, The Exodus, the Israelites' arrival in Egypt was around 1665 BC.
You know how you can verify that or get a quick estimation? Y'all heard of the man Paul Morton, the one that studied the skulls and know that our people are the same one that was in Egypt. Paul Morton, Cranium Egyptioptica. These archaeologists, they've been digging. They know.
And the Exodus took place at about 1450 BC. This means that the Israelites were in Egypt for 215 years. This is the only thing that the archaeological evidence supports. The evidence does not support 430 years in Egypt. This is the reason why it's important to understand biblical history correctly first, in order to correctly understand how it correlates with Egyptian history and archaeology.
I don't think they're trying to hold us longer. They don't. Well, yeah, I guess so. You can say that. But if we don't get the mindset, how you gonna pray for the Most High for healing? How you expect, if you want the Most High to heal you, you got to pray. You got to petition the Most High. You got to line up with the word. Okay, the word said expect not to leave empty-handed. But they done brainwash most of our people talking about we don't need it. These folks owe us. We not begging. They owe us. They owe a debt. The Most High is balancing our scales. I'm finna get back to the script. I got like two more minutes.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Lord, you never gave up. Lord, you never gave up on us. You never gave up. Lord, you were always there. And you're here right now, still loving me. All the while you always care, yeah. And I can't thank you enough for always being there. Getting lost in your presence as if it were a maze. Oh God, allow me to build my home in your praise. Eat of your flesh, live off your body for days. Man can't live off bread alone. It's the word of God we crave. To clean in your fields and in your grass I will graze. You bring me through still waters and speak peace to the waves. Lead my souls with life and left death in the grave. Lead me in your righteousness and I will follow in your ways. See the glory. When I was weak, you were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best there was in me. You lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith when you believed.
Sing it, children. Sing it. Let me show y'all something else. How you know we're going to get reparations? Let me show y'all another way how you know we're going to get reparations. All right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 14, verse 2. Oh, let me show you. Isaiah 14, 2. Let me show y'all. All right. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob. That's the nation of Israel. And will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captive, who captive they were. Okay, if we take we take the oppressors captive, who gonna have possession of their wealth? Huh? So when we take our oppressors captive, that got all this wealth that they done stole, who gonna have possession of that? Huh? Is the picture coming clear? Is you focusing in a little farther? Huh? Is you starting you starting to telescope and microscope on the word? Huh? See, you don't get to run the world and control the wealth and then go into captivity and maintain it. Show me in history where that happened. Huh? It don't work like that. So you telling me they're gonna have some rich billionaire slaves? Let me show you some more Bible verses then. All right. Let me go to Revelation. It shall rule over their oppressors. Okay. Now, some people say the people in Israel are the people. Okay. Okay. When did they rule over their oppressors? When? Okay. Huh? When did the other nations, when did they rule over their oppressors? These folks, that they are the same people as the Germans. I mean, they know it. Everybody should know that. All right, let me give you another Bible verse. Let's go to Revelation 2:9. Is it Revelation 2:9 or 3:9? Y'all bear with me. I don't know what he's gonna be picking, but he's gonna have to put in some work. Hey, the Bible said he's gonna put in some work. I don't know what he's gonna be picking, but it's gonna be work according to the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High don't, he don't partake in that stuff that they done to us, but they're gonna have to put in some work. Okay, Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. It's going to be 3:9. Let me go to 3:9. Now, you don't go into captivity and keep your wealth and your financial stranglehold over the earth. It don't work like that. Look here. All right. We all know who's running the world, who's got the banks and who owns the media and everything, right? Look here. This is Mashiach talking to John, and this is a prophecy. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship at thy feet. They on their way down. It's gonna be a changing of the power, but you're gonna have to be righteous and to know I have loved thee. See, they're gonna have to work. He gonna make them. You said, why would the Most High make them come and worship before I? That's the only way you're gonna get in the kingdom. Are you going on in the lake with the snake? These folks is the main part. They one of the main sources of our problems. They ran the slave trade, all this stuff. They get up over our people and manipulate the music and tell them to put out this degradation. They put out these stereotypical images, Birth of a Nation, the Klan version, these old blackface and stuff. They come up with that. The Most High gonna balance them scales. All right. Now, Revelation. He who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. Revelation 13:10. So who leading into captivity right now? Who deceiving the whole world that you got to get these shots and all this other stuff that don't work but causes more side effects? Who leading into captivity? Who controls the media? Who's printing lies in the textbook? Who's editing and erasing scripture? Who's doing it? Okay, when they go into captivity, who gonna have control of that wealth? Either you believe the word or you don't. I just want you to aim a little higher. When they go into captivity, who's gonna be controlling all the gold and stuff? Huh? Even if we don't have a monetary system, you still gonna have a great game. You're gonna be able to go out there and have your times. You don't have to worry about getting shot down. Health is wealth. You know, I'm in favor of no money. You say, why are you in favor of no money? Everything you got out here now, you can still have it. Money with both money and stuff, pride, both stuff. Money creates oppression. That's why the Most High didn't create this monetary system. Think about it. He didn't, when he created Adam, everything was perfect in the garden. It wasn't no monetary system going on. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for that Bible verse. You can't worship the Most High and money. Let me see, can I find it? That's right. Adam wasn't worried about no credit score. Let me find this Bible verse. Maybe it's mammon. That King James had that word mammon in there. Mammon is money. Right here. Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve Yah and money. So it's gonna be 1,000 years of peace. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to money. Think about it. We don't need no money. That's still great possessions. It's still reparations. Think about the land. That's why they find some kind of way to plow a highway through the land. See, land is money. You can grow food on the land. See what I'm saying? You can pass it down to your children. They got a place to stay. If they ain't got to pay rent, they that's money they keeping. See, your health on that land that you'll be in control of, that you done took from the heathen, that's rightfully yours. You won't be getting sick because you won't be putting no crazy stuff in the food. That land that the Most High will give you in that 1,000 years of peace, you won't have to worry about the pollution of the water. It's not that great substance. Huh? It's not that great substance. What's that? Genesis what? Genesis. I'm looking for that Genesis. Let me see. I think it's, let me see. Let me see here. Forgot where it was at. Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. I got another script for you. All right. And also that nation whom they shall serve, I will judge, and afterward they shall come out with great substance. It didn't say, it said great substance, as with interest, as in double for your trouble. See, we got to start thinking like this. 400 years. All right. So think about it. This ain't happened yet. Let me go to Deuteronomy 28:68. Deuteronomy 28:68. Okay. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. So if you go into Egypt again, you're going to have to go into Exodus again. Egypt again. Exodus again. So y'all think the Most High going to bring us out of Egypt again, and we're going to be scraping and scratching and scrounging around, nickeling and diming, especially after we done turned back to the covenant and living righteously. For those of you who lack faith, that may be you. For those of you who lack faith, that may be your children, but you'll be all right still, because we're gonna take care of each other. All right. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. This is the last captivity. There ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Redeemed. What I got going on over here? Oh, I got something going on my phone is talking. Oh, okay. That's the other video I had talking. I was wondering. All right. Now, let me see. Let me do my Bible. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Feel free. Okay, where was I at? Egypt, Deuteronomy 28:68. Let's see what Mizraim got going on. When you look that word up, let's see what it got. It's also a house of bondage. Let me show y'all that in the Bible. Let me show y'all that house of bondage out of Egypt, the house of bondage. Hold on. I am Yahweh thy Elohim, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Okay. Deuteronomy 6:12. Beware lest thou forget Yahweh, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. When you go to Deuteronomy 68, same thing. And let me show you some more things. Let me show you some Egyptian parallels that's over here right now while I'm thinking about it. Okay. I was going to type in something else, but I'll get to it. Let me warm up to it. Let me get a definition of what Egyptology is. Let me go to their, I like to use their books. The study of Pharaonic Egypt spanning the period of 4500 BCE to 641. Egyptology began when the scholars accompanied Napoleon Bonaparte's invasion of Egypt. Okay, here's a book you can read. Look like it's going to be French, which made large quantities of source material about ancient Egypt. Why, though? Available to the Europeans. Okay, Deuteronomy 28, Egypt again. Let me do a meme. Let me drive this home to y'all. Look. There go your pyramid. There go your pyramid. Let me do some more stuff. This is an Egyptian obelisk. How many obelisk tombstones have y'all seen over here? It's tombstone. Look at that. Look at that. Look. They got these Egyptian markings. It's also a Freemason calling card. Freemason. Yeah, look at this stuff. So if y'all don't want to, if y'all don't like the term synonymous with bondage, if y'all don't like that one, well, like the term, let me see here. Out of the house of bondage. Here you go right here. There, y'all say law on this. Say law on this. Why these white folks? I just read to you from the Encyclopedia Britannica that they study this stuff. Why these white folks masquerading as Egyptians? Huh? Why these white folks masquerading as Egyptians? Look at the pyramid. Huh? You can take it either which way. Ain't no getting out of it. Ain't no getting out of it. They done colonize everything. So technically, you could call these Egyptians. All right. All right, then. Look, this is Memphis. Where the picture at? This is Memphis. Not too far from me. I just showed you. You got some more in Las Vegas. Got one in Las Vegas. Let me see, what is this? I ain't got time for all these pop-ups. Got time for all that. Let me show y'all the one in Las Vegas. Let me type in Las Vegas. Here it is right here. There you go. Look, he gave him a European face. See, they gave. See, you let these folks get control of your history, you're gonna be slaves. That's how that works. That's how that works. You let these folks control your history, you're gonna be slaves. You're gonna be nothing. You're gonna be. Hey, look in the movies. The black folks is carrying bags. They driving them around. They in the kitchen. Just look. I mean, tell my wife, I said, look, stereotypes. All right. These folks get a hold of your history. See, look, let's go to Genesis 10 right quick. Let's go to Genesis 10. Let's go to Genesis chapter 10. Let's go to the descendants of Ham. Now look right here, though. Japheth, Ashkenazi Jews, right? Right here, look, coming out of Japheth, not Shem, Japheth. Sons of Japheth, Ashkenaz. All right, let's go on down to Ham. This is Egypt. Mizraim. The Bible is telling you that the Egyptians is black folks, but let them tell it. Let them tell it. You let them tell your history, you're gonna be slaves. You ain't got no you know your mind ain't quite right. You got low IQs. Let me put it in. Hell lie vision. Here you go right here. Here you go. You let them get a hold of your history. This is what you're going to get. I didn't know that they got Egyptian themed hotel rooms. You know, I might, but, you know, notice how you very rarely see trips going to like Africa. Like if you watch a game show, they're going to have you in the Europe somewhere white, mostly when I watch. I don't watch a lot of game shows though. My wife might be watching and I look and I just be picking up on stuff. Well, you don't see no, you let them, Africa, they got Africa like it's just a doggone one big old, you know, messed up country. But it's 54 countries in Africa. Let them tell it. All the Africans are poor and everybody living in mud huts. And if they are living in mud huts, it's y'all over there stealing everything. It's y'all over there stealing. See, let them get a hold of your history. They're going to colonize it. Take it over. And then when you say you Semitic, you're going to get a Kyrie Irving and a Kanye West. That's what you're going to get. The truth fears no investigation because it's the truth. See, this got to go down. In order for us to get to the prophecy of receiving great substance, this got to be destroyed. It's got to be demolished. It's going to take some soldiers to stand tall, stand firm, stand strong on the truth and put it out there, no matter what's the consequences. You know, some of us was out there in the streets, wasn't worried about no consequences then. But now all of a sudden, we living according to the book. Got fellowship with the Most High. Now all of a sudden we shaking and worried about some consequences. It don't work like that. See, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to count up the cost. You got to do an estimation. It might cost me my life. Well, shoot, being black might cost you your life. So I'm just saying, quit being scared. The cowardly is going to hell. Book of Revelation. See, count up the cost. Do an estimation of what living for the Most High what it might count, what it might cost you. Let me see. But anyway, you got to count up the cost. The Most High, he wants you to do an estimation. That's why he tell you some of you gonna die. Some of us gonna die. So count up the cost. What's it worth to you? He also said the blood of his people is precious, valuable. See, but yeah, it's I don't know where it's at, but it count up the cost. See, when you get ready to become the doctor, you count up the cost. You estimate that's what it will take. Okay, years of school, some sacrifice, dedication. But when it comes to the kingdom, we don't do the math. See, I just want us to see the hypocrisy in ourselves. All right, now, let me see. I got some more scripts over here. Okay, Joel chapter 3. Hold on. It's a verse in Deuteronomy. Let me go to Joel chapter 3. Joel chapter 3, verse 7. All right, let me read. Let me just start at verse 1. All right. Joel chapter 3. The so-called day of the Lord, as they call it. They call this the day of the Lord. In other words, Armageddon. In other words, the end time. All right. For behold, in those days and in that time, I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. I will also gather all nations. Remember, now don't forget those scripts I just read to you. Was it Isaiah 14? Isaiah chapter 14, I think, verse 2. Getting control of the oppressors, bringing them into captivity, whose captives we were. Look, I will and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. He said he's gonna gather all nations. Okay, why is the Most High gonna gather all nations in the day of the Lord, as they call it? Okay, now in the chat, I want y'all to name one country that we can go to and not be oppressed. I want y'all to name just one. Name one country in this whole earth we can go to and not be afflicted. Just name one. If you can't name one, just put a 0 in the chat. Okay. Okay. You say, I can go to Africa. Yeah, you can go to Africa. White supremacists got it set up where they getting all the resources out of there. All the resources, taking it to Europe. And the people living in poverty, that is affliction. You know, I would rather, no disrespect to the Most High in my marriage, I would rather be in Africa. The CIA probably sent somebody to kill me, though. I'm just saying. I would rather, but see, I'm here right now. My kids here. My grandkids here. But I understand if I still go over there, that the beast that the Bible said that took over the whole earth. They control all the money. They over there manipulating and causing coups, killing any leaders that's for the people. So what country can we go to and not be afflicted? It goes right back to that Bible verse in Genesis. Afflicted 400 years, and after that, so don't think because you might be in the Caribbeans that you ain't being afflicted. These heathens is the reason why your economy is messed up. Don't think because you in Haiti that you ain't be. These heathens is the reason why your economy is messed up. Don't think because you in Jamaica that you ain't being afflicted. These heathens is the reason why you are being afflicted. Don't think because you are black Hebrew in Brazil that you ain't being afflicted. These heathens imported more heathens to afflict you. Okay? All right, now. I also will gather all nations. We ain't go nowhere and get no peace. Guess what? Most High finna have he finna gather them. He finna have a huddle up. You know what I'm saying? And bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So they on stolen land. But y'all don't want no reparations. Some of y'all. They on stolen land. They took from us. Still taking from us. Trying to take our life. They done parted the Most High land. You getting that back is restoration. Reparation. Stop. If you don't believe in it, just be quiet. At least don't speak against it. If you don't understand it, just be quiet. I used to be against it, listening to these heathens. No, we don't need none. I'm all right now. This used to be my thinking. I'm like, wait a minute though. I got to learn real history. I got to learn how treacherous you are, how scheming and conniving and manipulative and murderous you devils are. And then I got to learn more words. Y'all, yeah. Y'all gonna pay. All right, now. They have cast lots for my people and given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Do y'all not know they was trading our babies for rum, alcohol, that they may drink? All right. Let me see what I said. 7. Joel chapter 3. Yeah. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all ye coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? It's mighty funny. The people over there in Palestine is the one from Revelation 2:9 and 3:9. They over there in Palestine. It's mighty coincidental. All right. Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, I return your recompense on your own head. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold. Whose silver and gold did they take? Who created the earth? Who put the silver and gold in the earth? They done took from the Most High. So they done took from our Father. Revelation 2:9-3:9 says, we are rich. All right? And have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. Okay, Vatican. Okay, you Europeans that got all the stuff huddled up and hid, all the history. All right. The children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem ye have sold unto the Grecians, that ye may remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them up out of the place where you have sold them. So, how is we going to be raised up and we scraping and scratching and can't even get bread? Huh? We're going to have great substance. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whether you have sold them and will return your recompense upon your own head. Sound like they're going into captivity to me. Sound like they're going to have to pay some debt. Sound like they're going to have to put in some work. They're going to lose what they done ill gain. They're going to lose all their ill-gotten gain. Why? Because the above text tell you it's the Most High's. It's his land and his gold and silver and his goodly thing. It's not theirs to begin with. All right? Okay. Now, let me go to Deuteronomy 28. Let me see here. Let me see, Deuteronomy 28. A language you not understand. Hold on. $28.49. Deuteronomy 28:49. I'm about done, y'all. I'm about done. Oh, okay. Them Hamites. That's right. They is Hamites. Palestinians are Philistines. They are descendants of Ham. That's right. In Genesis chapter 10. But them Ish people over there too. You absolutely right, Brother Sly. 28:49. Did I say 28:49? You are. Let me put that up there. You put that up there. Let me put that up there. You're absolutely right. Look at here. Yahweh will bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth. When Moses gave prophecy, we was in the east. The end of the earth, now we in the west and scattered everywhere. All right? As swift as the eagle flies. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. We had to learn English. We didn't come over here speaking no English. We had to learn it. It was forced upon us. We didn't bother. Yeah, the eagle is landing. The eagle about to land in a coffin. The eagle's wings is about to be clipped and burned. The eagle is about to be buried. The eagle is going down, down, down. The the eagle has burned. You ain't rising up out of no ashes. No, you going in the ashes to stay. Eagle, a.k.a. Phoenix, a.k.a. New World jargon and talk. You ain't rising out no ashes. You going in the lake where you going to stay. All right. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old. These folks don't care nothing about the old people, and they sure don't care nothing about the young. Okay? Look, and they shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced wall come down. Hello, goodbye, Black Wall Street. Goodbye, Rosewood. Goodbye, 200 black towns that they destroyed and tore down. They besieged us at all our gates. But yeah, I think that's it. That's pretty much everything. Let me see what this is. Okay, I did that. I think that's all I got. Yep. Let me show you some more stuff about these Freemasons. All this stuff over here. Egypt again. Okay, if you're in Egypt again, you got to be delivered again. You got to have another exodus. That's why they want us to observe Easter and not Passover. They want you to observe Easter where from Friday to Sunday morning is 3 days and 3 nights. How is Friday and then Saturday and early Sunday morning 3 days and 3 nights? When the Passover said 3 days and 3 nights. The Passover, 3 days and 3 nights. If you study, Mashiach was 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Nothing just they done modernize the word. Oh, nigga, they just modernized the word. That's that Yiddish Hebrew kicking in. Yeah, that's that Yiddish Hebrew kicking in. That's why they call it Philistine and Palestine. That's all. Let me see. Let me see here. But anyway, you also got the Egyptian they got taskmaster. Let me show y'all. They done put taskmasters over. That's right. I like that. Yeah. Look at here. Why you police bass? Why the Egyptians got a police? The Egyptians got a police. Look. So you got Egyptian police force. I know it's Babylon, but look, it's this also. They got a police force. Why can't our black brothers get together and talk to their Freemason brothers and come to some kind of peace where they stop killing us? Why can't our Freemason black brothers talk to their Freemason white brothers and tell them, let us recruit police for our own people? Huh? How come the black Masons got a different building and meet up separate from the white Masons? What I want to know is, what is the white Masons talking about that you Negroes can't hear? Huh? It's time we stop being the white man's do-boys, slaves, stepping fetches, and coons. It's time out for that. The Most High gonna start killing you Negroes. He gonna start killing y'all. Watch. He finna start killing you sellout Negroes. That's all right. You ain't got to believe it. You believe it on Judgment Day. Once you understand how the Most High operate, how his timeline operate, and his agenda will be carried out, it really ain't prophecy, because you see what's coming. It's time. They done sold us to the Greeks, our own people. selling us to these Greek fraternities, these black colleges with these white sororities. How is it a black college with Greek sororities? Where is the black at? How is it BET owned by white people? Where is the black at? How is it Jet Magazine owned by white people? How is it Black Lives Matter owned by white folks? How is it the NAACP owned by white folks? See, as long as you're inside their domain, you are under control. You are under the influence. You Negroes, before you die, y'all better start denouncing these oaths. Fear the Most High, who can destroy body and soul. Let me show y'all this Bible. I'm probably finna end it. I put Lord. There's no Revelation 21. But the fearful, all these scared to death Negroes, and the unbelievable, they don't believe fat meat is greasy. They don't believe the Bible is real, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers. They go your pharmaceuticals, and your idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Look though, the fearful. Why is the Most High going to throw the fearful in the lake of fire? Think about that. Let me help you out. Because it's not his spirit. 2 Timothy 1:7. For y'all have not given us a spirit of fear. So if you got a spirit of fear, that's from Satan. That's not his spirit. But of power. You're gonna have to start adjusting your faith. And of love and a sound mind. See, fear produces torment. What if they do this? They gonna do this to me. I see my internet running kind of slow. Okay, it's kicking back on. See, it's not his spirit. He has not given us the spirit of fear. So if you got that spirit of fear in Revelation, think about it. Fear controls you. It's a control mechanism. Fear then kept up. Adam, once he disobeyed the Most High, became fearful. He received another spirit. When the Most High said, "Where art thou, Adam?" he said, "I became afraid." He done received another spirit that didn't come from the Most High. All right? I done went on enough. I think I done said what I had to say. Is there any questions? Any questions, fam? Any questions? All right. I'm going to play this song. It's about 3 minutes, 56 seconds long. If y'all got any questions, just put them in the chat. I'll be reading.
Christ is the only way we gon' get life you ain't never had. Freedom! Unless you in them scripts daily reading, trying to pay off that price, I don't think they know. Freedom! Go from above in the name of his one and only son. Now that's true. Freedom! When you come under the blood, tell me, are you free? Are you really at liberty? Do you really truly have peace? Or are you in denial? Living in the seat underneath all them fake smiles. Wonder why you keep having trials. Drowning in your debt as it piles. Wonder where my God at? I've been praying, but for some reason things ain't changing. So you gotta ask yourself, is that freedom? Wondering if he gon' come when you really need him? If it's a question, then you ain't been free. I suggest you pick the book up and read. I can do all things in Christ who strengthens me. I rebuke the devil who weakens me. See, the law just gives you the keys. It's your faith that truly sets you free. Freedom! Through Christ is the only way we gon' get life you ain't never had. Freedom! Unless you in them scripts daily reading, trying to pay off that price, I don't think they know.
Freedom!
Come from above in the name of his one and only son. Now that's true.
Freedom!
When you come under the blood. Now when I say hallelujah, I'll say yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah. When I say hallelujah, I'll say yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Now when I say hallelujah, I'll say yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah. When I say hallelujah, I'll say yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Now when I say oh, y'all say praises, oh, praises, oh, praises. When I say oh, y'all say praises, oh, praises, oh. Now when I say oh, y'all say praises, oh, praises, oh, praises. When I say oh, y'all say praises, oh, praises, oh, praises.
Yeshua answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth ever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed.
Only through the Son we free. That's why we pray without ceasing, constantly. That's how you get your mind right. Trust that. And in the midst of all the chaos, he gon' have your back. He gon' send a comforter just like he said he would. You just profess it out your mouth and don't have a doubt. We gotta walk like him if we wanna be free. Get rid of pride and believe in Messiah, you'll see.
Freedom!
Through Christ is the only way we gon' get life you ain't never had.
Freedom!
Unless you in them scripts daily reading, trying to pay off that price, I don't think they know.
Freedom!
Come from above in the name of his one and only son. Now that's true.
Freedom!
When you come under the blood.
Freedom!
Through Christ is the only way we gon' get life you ain't never had.
Freedom!
Unless you in them scripts daily reading, trying to pay off that price, I don't think they know.
Freedom!
Come from above in the name of his one and only son. Now that's true.
Freedom!
When you come under the blood.
Freedom!
Through Christ is the only